It is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. I'm Yael Avi, and these are the Cryptosphere's top stories for today. Bitcoin eyes a move above $9,000 as equity markets see a bounce back after coronavirus fears saw a tumble across all of them. A coronavirus blockchain initiative calls on the community to come together and use the crisis as an opportunity for delivering solutions. And finally, Justin Sun and major crypto exchanges execute what appears to be a hostile takeover of the Steem blockchain. Bitcoin's price saw some much welcome relief over the last couple of days, surging alongside U.S. stocks amid speculation that the Federal Reserve and other central banks will support markets as the coronavirus spreads. The largest cryptocurrency by market value is currently trading in and around the $8,800 range after a deep plunge last week in tandem with traditional assets. Now, this once again opens for discussion whether Bitcoin is correlated with the wider investment market or an independent actor. For more on the recent developments, I am joined in studio by none other than BLOCKTV's senior correspondent, Usher Westrup Evans. And Usher, starting with you, coronavirus panic over for the time being?
Perhaps not over, perhaps mitigated after last week's dramatic falls by some of those assurances given out by central banks that you mentioned there earlier, Yael. We saw the G7 come out, they're drafting a statement as reported by Reuters to put together from their finance ministers saying that they will back all necessary means in order to ensure that the markets are propped up and protected during these times. So that's coming from the big industrial players in France, Germany, the UK, the US, all heading towards this sort of market consensus mechanism. And I think that gave some surety to markets after that deep plunge last week, and made a little bit more comfort across equity markets as a whole, which has seen a recovery at least into the shorter term. The
shorter term, and unless hysteria rises again. But what do the crypto trading volumes tell us, though, about the appetite of investors?
Oh, it's interesting. So crypto seems to equally a bounce back, which again plays very interestingly into that whole narrative of crypto as a safe haven, seeming to rise now in parallel with equity markets. Maybe the uncorrelated asset argument remains true. One thing we can lie on, though, looking at fundamentals, Bitcoin has hit a new high, a record high on its hash rate, 136 quintillion terahashes taking place at the time. What we're seeing there, new hash rates, I mean, that is a lagging figure, obviously. By the time you buy and install a new mining operation, it's already well past the time at which the price was when you bought that. So these might have been bought optimistically in the past, but they are certainly indicators of the security of the network and the fact that miners out there are willing to continue investing, at least for now.
So would you say that the increase coincides with the Bitcoin hash rates breaking all-time records? Those are connected?
I'm not going to go so far as to say they're connected. They're correlated. Interesting to see that's happening. Provides some good fundamentals for a market that seems to be in healthy condition.
Usher Westrup Evans, thank you for this report.
Pleasure.
The coronavirus spread that has been dominating the global agenda is far from over, of course. The disease has so far crossed borders, infecting nearly 100,000 people and claiming the lives of more than 3,000, in addition, of course, to spreading wide-scale panic. Yesterday, Tedros Ghebreyesus, head of the World Health Organization, warned that the world is in uncharted territory, to quote him, adding that the organization has never seen a respiratory pathogen that is capable of community transmission, but did add that it can be contained with the right measures. Enter a new blockchain initiative, which is led by Dr. Inon Shankar, a global health expert and former World Health Organization technical officer who believes the current crisis is a potential use case to teach the world the usefulness of the technology if only the community would come together and seize the opportunity. This is what he had to say to BLOCKTV.
I think that we are on a way that the community needs to find a way to act based on, number one, entrepreneurship, innovation, and business plans. But in our case now, it's actually to demonstrate, if we are a community, which I believe we are, that we can get our act together despite differences of operation and interests and strength and size towards a global crisis, which is definitely not China-based only. And what we shall see, I unfortunately expect, is more countries, including the United States, to be testing more people and finding actually more infected. In other words, this pandemic to be with us at least for the next couple of months.
Now in news that is shaking up the sphere, even more than the coronavirus, Steemit, The decentralized blogging platform that recently partnered up with the Tron Foundation has apparently utilized the resource of top exchanges like Webby, Binance, and Poloniex to reverse a recent blockchain soft fork that sought to reduce their ability to sway governance decisions. Now, the apparent hostile takeover has angered community members and prompted some developers to pull back their Steem-related applications. We're joined in studio by Brian Bishko, also known as Brian of London, and a BLOCKTV contributor and an all-tech analyst who has been tracking this development online. And firstly, Brian, thank you for being with us. Needless to say, the sphere is buzzing over this. Currently, one can argue that yet to be proven, but there was one reaction coming to a Tron tweet that actually has everybody talking.
Yeah, well, it was Vitalik from Ethereum. Vitalik,
but in reaction to Justin Sun beginning by saying what?
Justin Sun took over the blockchain that he thought he'd bought. He bought a company called Steemit, not a blockchain called Steem. And in response to witnesses taking preventative measures, he seemed to organize a whole bunch of Chinese, largely, exchanges to use their clients' funds to power up and vote everybody else off the chain. And then he announced that he had successfully defeated the hackers.
Yeah, let's take a look. There we go. This is the Justin Sun tweet. Steem, hashtag Steem, has successfully defeated the hackers, and all funds are super Safu, right? Steem network and the Steemit community, et cetera, very much in Justin Sun lingo. Yes.
And those hackers were actually the consensus community on the Steem blockchain, the ones he did not buy when he bought Steemit, the company. So that's caused enormous pain throughout the community, because they just had no idea that suddenly China could swoop in and own what was supposed to be a decentralized blockchain that was censorship resistant.
And then a major voice chimes in.
Exactly. Then Vitalik chimes in because he's on the verge of heading towards a distributed proof of stake change with Ethereum. So he says, he correctly lays out the steps. Tron buys Steem, but that's wrong. He bought Steemit. Steem delegates to limit, this is the Steem blockchain, and the witnesses delegate and do a soft fork to limit Steemit's power. And Justin Sun just takes it back with this move. But the main thing, Sun seems to have just burnt his whole Steemit, all goodwill associated with Steemit. He's burnt it up because...
Or has he? I mean, it is Justin Sun.
It is Justin Sun, but Steem is a community. If he was buying anything of value, it wasn't the token languishing around 13 cents.
It was a whole community. So where can it go from now?
Well, I don't think, having listened to sort of 3 or 4 hours of there were more than 300 or 400 people listening in on Discord last night. Having listened to them, I don't think he's going to win back trust. I just don't think he'll get it back. And now, today, the head of communications of Steemit has left, and 2 of the major developers at Steemit have left. So I'm not sure what he has left of his purchase besides a big block of Steem. And people willing to do a hard fork against him.
And trust being a key word here. Brian, I want to thank you so much for joining us and for keeping track on the story, which we will be following closely as well. The U.S. Treasury Department is blacklisting 20 Bitcoin addresses associated with a pair of Chinese nationals accused of laundering millions of dollars worth of stolen cryptocurrency. Now, as per various reports, the hackers are tied to Lazarus, a group of cyber thieves allegedly linked to North Korea, known for stealing digital assets from cryptocurrency exchanges. BLOCKTV's Yona Hochhauser has the story. He joins me in studio right now. And Yona, how did this come about? Where does this stand?
Right, so what we know about this so far is from court records. The District of Columbia actually indicted 2 Chinese nationals who they claim have had certain hand, it's unclear how much, in stealing, but definitely laundering up to $250 million worth of cryptocurrencies, variants, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you name it. They are accused of taking that money, mixing around different accounts, and cashing it out both in US dollars, Chinese yuan, and even according to court documents, iTunes gift cards. Yes, the notorious currency of criminals, iTunes gift cards, apparently. On top of that, the DOJ has blacklisted a number of their addresses that are connected to these Chinese nationals, claiming that they have connections with the Lazarus Group, which is famously backed by the North Korean government,
Right.
which is under sanctions. Now, the problem that goes by, that comes with going through the regular channels of blacklisting, getting warrants, shutting down
I was
addresses.
about to ask, does that help?
No, because by the time you actually get to blacklist those accounts, they've already instantaneously moved those accounts, split them up into thousands of other addresses, set them all around, coin mixers, you name it. Those addresses are empty. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game
Right.
where the cat just simply cannot catch the mouse.
Yona Hochhauser, thank you so much for this report. Now, is wind powering Texas' emergence as a new hub for Bitcoin mining? The backers of several big money projects are betting yes, thanks to the state's cheap electricity and unique regulatory environment. Yona Hochhauser, again, has the story.
Texas has become the new hotspot for crypto mining. Layer 1 Technology, which recently raised $50 million from Peter Thiel and other venture capitalists, has launched a facility that it says will soon have 100 megawatts of electricity devoted to mining Bitcoin. Leading mining chip maker Bitmain, which is based in China, has also moved into Texas, opening a facility with 50 megawatts of power in a town called Rockdale that will eventually scale up to 300 megawatts. Northern Data, a German firm, plans to build the largest mining facility in the world, also in Texas, which it says will devote a full gigawatt, or 1,000 megawatts, to cryptocurrency prospecting. What is powering all this mining? Texas, the state, is the world's 6th largest producer of wind energy among nations. That, in addition to its abundance of natural gas, gives Texas very cheap electricity supply. Texas' electricity market is deregulated, which makes it a much more competitive market that drives down prices and allows big Bitcoin mining farms to negotiate prices. I guess what they say is true. Everything is bigger in Texas. Yona Hochhauser, BLOCKTV.
And it's time for Troll of the Day. And once again, Google appears, and we stress, appears to take issue with crypto or in the cryptosphere. Zaki Hennessy is here to explain.
Absolutely correct, Yael. Reports are filing in of cryptocurrency news sites having their dedicated apps removed from the Google Play Store. Notable sites like CoinDesk and Cointelegraph have been shunted by the internet giant. As you can see here, there's really not much in terms, if you search these sites, their apps just ain't coming up. So it seems like they're getting shunted, and it's leaving the cryptosphere wondering, what the fuck, dude? This comes on the heels of a massive strike against crypto YouTubers that occurred last December, which saw crypto content get stricken or taken down with little to no explanation. Now, all this said, our eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that BLOCKTV's app is still on the Play Store, and our YouTube content wasn't touched in December. Now, I want to get in front of this and say, no, we are not in cahoots with Google to turn our content into the only accessible crypto news, thus driving all traffic towards our site and making us bajillionaires. That would require much too much foresight.
Of course, that's not us. That's really not us. Zaki, thank you for that insight. That was Around the Block for today. Thank you for watching. For more blockchain, tech, and cryptocurrency news, visit us at blocktv.com.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.